Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And if people are wondering where I am on the screen, and that's because I am actually on holidays for the next week. I do have my laptop with me, but you will not be seeing me on camera. You will, however, hear my voice. Now, what am I here to talk about in today's video? A little bit of a public service announcement warning. We do have personal clan versus clan running tomorrow, so there's something coming up if you've been logging in, of course, every single day, and that's going to be the Dorothy chase. And well, day 7 is tomorrow for a lot of players. Now, luckily, we've already passed the champion chase, and for some people, this might actually be still available. Nope, sorry, I take that back. Ignore what I just said. It's already finished. I don't know why I thought that it might be available, but you can still claim it for clan versus clan, and depending on what your time zone is, you may just be able to wait to log in when clan versus clan starts in 15 hours, whenever you're watching this video, right? And claim the points there. It is quite a significant amount of points for Dorothy, though, by getting her, right? Because you're going to get 10,000 points for a legendary champion and also 20,000 for being a new character. My guess is you have not summoned her randomly in the shards if she is available there. I want to talk about how you can do that depending on what kind of platform that you're playing on. And I also want to talk about the progressives that are going to be happening tomorrow and also some events that you can save for tomorrow as well. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get the King Galkabar absolutely free, and also these 3 amazing epics. We have Venom Age, Tagor, and Farrakhan the Fat at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. Also, don't forget about Pelops the Victor. You can also grab him as well for a new account, and all you got to do is use the promo code SUPERVICTORY within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so tomorrow we have clan versus clan running. We get double bonuses on Minotaur. Now, this is going to be a really great way to pick up some extra, if you haven't done Minotaur in a while, if you have a bunch of legendary characters, or, whoever, right? Any characters that you need to get masteries for, that is going to be your time. And I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of this because I have a lot of gems that I've been saving for this kind of moment here. Also, as far as other 2Xs go, we do have Shogun. I don't know if there's going to be any additional events for this for Ascension material and all that stuff. I don't know if we're going to have any event running for it. And we also have 2X Faction Wars. So there are people, especially probably in North America, where the reset might happen and it's like, I don't know, 8 hours before CVC, something, 6 hours, something like that. So make sure you don't blow your keys a little bit early and wait for CVC to actually land before you do that. Now, I also want to talk about some of the progressives that are going to be happening tomorrow. They are kind of baity, right? So we have Tuesday, August 25th. We have, however, I do want to say that, like, people say this is definitely bait. However, if you're really, really close to your Mercy, or if you're into your Mercy, it might be still a good idea to try a couple of shards just to get this, right? Because I know it's a very low odds, right? We're talking about like 4-ish% on ancient, don't pull your primals, but ancient or sacred shards, right? You're at about a 4% odds. For void shards, it is higher. I think it's actually slightly above 15%. I don't think we have 100 legendaries in voids in the shards, but nonetheless, it's not great for ancients. But there are sometimes some really good characters, right? Glorious Palace is an S tier support character, so I have her, but if I didn't, I would have considered pulling to the Mercy or trying to do this anyways to get them unlocked. I know it's a low percent odds, but realistically, these are your outs. There's never going to be a guaranteed event for Glorious Palace, and she is one of the better characters in here. Compared to all of the others, she is definitely the best on this list if you were going to try for anyone. Now, I'm just assuming you're not going to pull for voids. There's some okay characters, but nothing worth taking the bait for, in my opinion. There are some epic characters in here as well, but nothing super amazing. This is tomorrow on the first day on Tuesday. Now on Wednesday, we have some other characters here. We have Oskar and the Defiler, we have Harvest Jack, Armands, and Hilvi. And Vergumkar, which I believe got a rework recently. Out of all of these, Hilvi is probably the best character on this list that is usable pretty much everywhere. Really like her in terms of the voids. There's some okay ones here, but again, not worth taking the bait. That being said, depending on where you're at in the game, Geomancer is a very, very powerful epic character. Also, Ilsinia is one of the epics that you do need for Lady Mikage. So this might be of interest to some people, at least from the epic side of things. And so if this is what you end up doing, then there you go. Now, again, the 15x, not super great. You're looking at a 4 to 4.5% chance, somewhere in there. I forget the exact number, but for legendary. But again, it's kind of the best you're gonna get. That's the sad part, right? If you're not pull, you got to kind of treat for the most part shards as event currency. However, if you're really really close or into your mercy, it might be worth attempting. So now, how are you going to be able to save Dorothy for tomorrow? Because depending on when you log in, and maybe you're well past CBC starting, and therefore you don't have to worry about it. And lucky for us, Champion Chase has already passed, so there's nothing else to worry about. There were times where I would hold off like 4 days before unlocking this. One thing that I do want to state though is that it does kind of push off starting. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's only like 1 day for CVC, but for everyone else, if you didn't know how to do this, if you're on PC, if you're on Plarium and Play, you can hit the R button, and the R button warps you to the shop store, and then this allows you to basically bypass this. You can actually go click on your keys, sorry, and then click on like Classic Arena, and you can basically navigate through the menu tabs and kind of get around having to click the button. So this is how you do it on PC. It's a little bit more complicated for mobile, and I do want to thank Snide Marquis from Reddit who basically kind of mentioned this. So again, if you're on PC, if you're on Plarium and Play, press the R button when the claim screen comes up, then go about your day. The easier way is again, like I pointed out, that you can kind of navigate by clicking on some of your things over here. But once you leave the screen, like once you've navigated away from it with the R button, you can just go about and continue doing things. Just make sure you don't go back into the Dorothy. Don't do any of this Dorothy chase buttons. Leave that alone. Now, if you're on mobile, it is quite a lot more complicated. Like, wait until the Dorothy screen comes up, turn on airplane mode, and if necessary, turn off Wi-Fi. Tap out of the menu and then turn off airplane mode, and if necessary, turn on Wi-Fi. It can be a little bit tricky, so it's best to wait until CBC starts to return to play. So again, depending on what time zone you're in, again, I'm recording this at 7:30 p.m. Germany time or Central European time. So 15 hours for me, that's going to be like 10:30 a.m. Central European time. If you're in North America, very likely when CBC starts, that it is going to be well into the AM. However, the actual reset, right, is on a different timer. So I want to kind of note that, right? So we have, do I have any? 6 hours and 32, right? So there's a gap. There's a gap of about almost 9 hours between the reset timers because that's CVC. And then this is my Grim Forest Distorted Energy reset timer. So there is a gap about 9 hours or so, almost 9 hours between the daily reset and the clan versus clan launching. So this is most going to affect people, I would say, who are still available and online, because I think especially when you're in West Coast North America and even maybe East Coast North America, that you still very much could be awake by the time the daily reset happens. And if you want to save your points for the CBC that happens tomorrow, then that is your best bet, whether you're on PC or on and mobile device, right? Now, secondly, we have the gear enhancement event, and I did not take my own advice, but I am going to give it, and that is to wait for CBC to do your gear enhancement as well. Now, maybe you've already done it like I did, like an idiot, and I didn't really think about it because I just blindly, I just saw an event and I did it, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. So yeah, if you want to save your gear enhancement to do this during CBC, you will get some additional points for this as well, because leveling any gear and things like that up to level 16 is going to give you, I would say, probably about 20 to 30k CVC points just from doing all the level 16s that you're doing for gear enhancements. So it's not nothing, right? You're going to get about 30,000 for Dorothy as well by saving that for CBC. And because this is personal CBC, this does matter more than others, right? I do want to make sure that I max as much as I can so I can so hopefully my clan wins. We get the 2400 energy, at least for me anyways, and all these additional shards, which would be great collectively for everyone. So yeah, again, if you're in a clan that basically does CBC somewhat seriously, then this might be something that you want to do as well. As far as other events, there isn't really so much going on, I guess, between there's Gear Hunters also. This starts tomorrow, but there's not a lot of overlapping events, unfortunately, with this Gear Hunters. So I have this strange feeling that I'm going to be spamming Event Dungeon 3, right? This is the fastest way, and I really think the irony here is you can actually clear this in like 1 second. Uh, depending on what characters that you're using. I like to use Alice, right? Because she actually has a really crazy clear time. She'll just use her special, and I'm pretty sure once I load in because I'm lagging a bit. But once you get into the battle, and if you don't set this in auto by any means, like boom, she's like her animation times are so fast. Yes, I just blew some energy because I didn't need to do it quite yet. But yeah, you get like a 1 second clear time. But I do want to warn people and caution that apparently you can get a temporary ban if you literally sit here and click the replay button like too fast, like literally every single second you tap, 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 tap. And because the game will kind of mistake this as some sort of auto clicker. There have been some posts on Reddit about this, and I swear this happens every single event dungeon. However, the best bang for your buck for gear hunters is this event dungeon stage 3. The only problem though is that the events are sorry, the items are going to be crap, and you know you're mostly just doing it for the efficiency because you will spend overall less energy on this, but you just won't get a lot out of it. So it depends on what you're looking for because you might be able to, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do Event Dungeon 3 or if I'm going to farm one of the higher stages to get some actual usable gear or not. It's not as efficient. However, better for CVC points as well, and also better for actually getting drops like chronophage accessories that I might try to pick up along the way, right? All this stuff for the chronophage. So anyways, let me know what you guys are going to do. Are you going to bite into any of the progressive chances? I don't think that I will, but Glorious Palace is really tempting. If you're near your Mercy, or deep into it, I would consider it because she is an S tier character. Okay, that's going to be the end of my video, but before I go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen. Make sure you download to get these epics as well. We have King Galkabar, we have Venomage, Tagore, and Farrakhan the Fat. Don't forget about Pelops the Victor, and all you got to use the promo code SUPERVICTORY within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.